Hey family, what's going on? I'm Dominique and this is
To queer.
um this is a special episode. Even though you will be seeing it after Mother's Day, I want to say happy belated Mother's Day to all of you all. Wonderful and amazing mothers. Um, but this episode is a little bit different. We're gonna focus on something else. Something that my wife and I have in common is that both of our mothers have passed and gone on. So we're just going to talk about a little bit how Mother's Day affects us, and how we cope, and the grieving process, how it's like a continuous thing. Um, and yeah, we're gonna focus on that. So I know there are a lot of people out there who are celebrating their mothers, and that's wonderful. They're in the land of the living. You are blessed to still have your mom and have her in your life. Um, but at the same time, there are so many others who don't have their moms and don't have their grandmothers or their mother figures in their life. And oftentimes, they're forgotten, and might be looked over or what have you, and not checked on, and it's a lot. So we're coming to you from that perspective. So for me, I'm gonna start out by saying I lost my mom in 2004. It hit you. I lost my mom in 2004 when I was 19 years old. I lost my paternal grandmother not too long after that, I believe. Actually, no, I lost my paternal grandmother first, then my mother, then my maternal grandmother, who also co-parented me. So losing her in 2016 was like the equivalent to losing my mom again. It was like pouring salt on an open wound. It was really bad. Um, so that those are my experiences, and I do have other mother figures in my life. I have my godmom, aka my auntie. Shout out to Aunt Desiree, and all of my other aunts on my dad's side and also my mom's side. I love y'all so very much, but this is not necessarily about that. I appreciate you all. I truly do. And now my mother figures. And Takura, you want to talk about your mom?
My mother passed away in 2005. Love you too, Bubba. My mom passed away in 2005. So, just like Dominique said, you have other people that you look to for mother figures. But my biggest thing is everybody deal with things differently. I am a person who will pack a suitcase and bury it deep down within me so that I don't have to deal with it, don't have to bring it back up. So even now with this conversation, I know for today, like she said, it hit her hard. Whereas for me, due to the fact that I'm a person who once I pack it away, it's packed away. It didn't really affect me a lot as far as Mother's Day. I will say this though. After my mom passed in 2005, the very first time that I forgot her birthday, and not necessarily forgot it, I remembered when it was literally approximately like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and it hit me, and it was like, today's your mom's birthday. And that affected me really, 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 really badly. But outside of that, I cope. I'm a person who, like I said, I don't do emotions very well. So I bury them down deep, and I don't unbury them. So that is a coping mechanism. I probably do need therapy for that, but as of right now, it works, and it has been working for me for these years, quite some time. So that's with everything, not just death. That's with everything. That's with relationships, sad moments, disappointments, anything like that. I'll put it in a little suitcase, tape it up with caution tape and throw it in the river, and there it goes. If you remember the movie with the emotions, with joy, joy,
Happiness, sadness,
all of them, and you see they long little rivers and stuff. That is me in real life, real time. I don't deal. I pack it up, seal it, and keep pushing.
Yeah. And then, like, for me, when my mom passed, I was 19, like I said, and I was in college. And of course, initially, like I remember, like it was yesterday when it happened. My alarm clock. I didn't. My alarm clock didn't go off. I just woke up. I woke up, and it's vivid. I remember the time. And I woke up and looked at the clock. You so rude. And it was. I think it was 8:08 a.m. And I remember the phone rang, and my grandmother was on the phone. And I got up, was trying to hear what was going on, and all I heard her say was, "What do you mean a turn for the worse?" And when I heard that, I was like, "Bruh, what?" Because at that time, my mom was already in a rehabilitation center, but that was kind of, it was a transition situation.
Love you too, Bubbles.
So I heard that, and then she looked at me, and I looked at her. I love you too, Cooper. She looked at me, I looked at her. I started crying immediately because I already knew what that meant, right? But we had the funeral and everything, and I had a couple of days where I was just really just in the bed, and just I didn't want to deal. I didn't have appetite, which is a big deal for me because I love to eat. But I was grieving, and I went to my grandmother. I told her, I said, I'm ready to go back to school because I was a full-time athlete on top of being in school full-time. And I think, too, I had a part-time job at that time as well. And I was like, I wanted to get back to life, and living. And it just, that was my, love you too, Cooper. That was,
he feels you.
I know, right? That was my coping mechanism. And then he do come back to me. I know, he come back to me. But my coping mechanism is always keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep working, keep doing this. Because when I'm doing something, then my mind is not on that. And I can focus on what I'm doing over here. So I went back to school, went back to playing soccer. And not to say that it didn't affect me. I still had moments where I was at school in the bathroom, but I had people around me. I had my soccer team, or my whole entire soccer team came to the funeral. Like, that was dope. So I had people surrounding me that loved me and were looking out for me. Even when my other grandmother passed, it was the same situation. By that time, we had moved to Atlanta, and I had my coworkers. I had just started a new job working at the sheriff's office, and I was still in training. And when my coworkers on my training team found out that my grandmother had passed, they were extremely consoling and there for me. And even when I came back to try to get back to things and get to working, they were looking out for me, and they're like, "You good? Do you need a moment? You need to go?" And I was able to take my moments or what have you, but get back to work. So, like she said, her coping mechanism is packing it away real tight and throwing it over there in the back of the black closet, letting it go down the river. Mine is get back to work, get moving, and go back to doing what you were doing before to get your mind off of that. But today, start off really good.
Today
We had plans. We were supposed to go to a barbecue, kick it with some of her family. We were laughing, joking, and talking. Got dressed, and we had the whole day laid out of what we were going to do. And I was driving. We were on the way there, and then it was like, I don't even know what happened.
I got the picture.
Well, no, it was before that. Remember I told you my mind started wandering? My mind had already started wandering, and I was thinking about my mom and my grandmothers. And then she was on the phone. Love you too, Cooper. She was on the phone with her family talking, and she saw a picture
I was on the phone talking to Brianna, and then she sent the picture.
That's
and then I showed you the picture. So Brianna is my sister. Brianna sent me a picture of my mom. She sent it to our group chat, and it was just a regular picture of my mom. Because again, like I said, my mom not here, so that's how Brianna deal. So she sent the picture to all of us, and I was like, oh, and I showed Dominique.
And I think that was the straw for me, because I was already I was starting to get a little bit emotional. And then when she showed me the picture, it was like, and tears just were like, from that moment on, tears just was like rolling down my face. I could not stop crying.
For like 4 hours.
No, for real, for like 4 hours, I was crying. I was still moving, and she kept.
Okay, so for people who don't know me, I'm a fixer. I am a fixer by nature.
She's Olivia Pope.
I am the Olivia Pope in real life. Like, when I see people say, first and foremost, I'm an empath. So anything that, unfortunately, when I see someone else, their emotions automatically, they're drawn to me, and I take on their emotions. So when I saw her crying, I'm like, I went straight into, let's fix her. What is wrong? How can I help you?
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to drive? Do you want some food? Do you want me to hold your hand? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want...
Not too much.
And in my head, I was so very appreciative. But at the same time, I was like, bro,
stop talking to me.
Stop. Leave me alone for a minute, you know. But thank God we didn't get into it at all or anything like that. But I did express, I said, you know, in moments like these, I just need you to be, you know, just be here. Just, you know, hold my hand, or just give me a hug, or give me a kiss on the cheek, or just say something like, I'm here for you. You know, that's all I need. And if I need anything, I will tell her if I need anything.
Well, back up. Before you told me that, I literally said, hey, I'm just going to be here. And I was like, are you? I said, I don't want to ask you any more questions, because I see I'm going to pop you on camera if you bite my hand like you just bit my hand. I said, hey, I'm just going to leave you alone, because I could see me asking you questions and me trying to fix it is making it worse. So let me know.
Yeah, I was getting a little irritated.
And then that's when she said, I just want you to be. And I was like, okay. So that's what I did. I just sat there.
Because I think she asked me if she wanted me, if I wanted her to drive like 5 times.
So her eyes were so wet. And you know how when you're crying, but you're trying not to cry, and you have that big old water bubble
and the tear just
over your eye, and that's how it was. And then she was slamming on the brakes. It only
happened like one time.
Okay.
One time.
It was.
But my vision wasn't blurry at all. Though. My vision wasn't blurry at all. But I should have told her that to reassure her that I could see and everything was fine. But yeah, so that was that situation. So our plans got derailed. So we went to the grocery store. She picked up the food that she was supposed to drop off, took it over there, dropped it off, and then we left. I didn't even get out the car. But because I know when I get in those moods, I really don't want to be around people. That's another thing about me. When I get super emotional, or when I'm going through something, I kind of withdraw. Not kind of. I withdraw.
Yeah, you withdraw.
And I go into like a cocoon. And I don't necessarily want to be bothered. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, let me figure, like, I'm a fixer too, but like for myself to a certain extent. You don't have to make that face. Hold on, shorty.
Love you, Bubba's.
But
he have buttons, and so
I think they could tell by now.
He's pressing them.
And every time he hit the love you button, he come back over here and check on us. But I think he could probably feel our energy. But but yeah, so that's my situation. So once we dropped the food off, then we were like, okay, we're hungry. Let's get something to eat. And we went to, shout out to Kai. The not bartender, she's a mixologist. She's a mixologist at Sweet Auburn Barbecue out in McDonough, Georgia. And we went in there got some good food, and her spirit was just so amazing. She was so sweet, so helpful, and we were talking and communicating and everything. And she gave us both roses, and uh, it was just a beautiful time. And when I went in there, tears were still falling from my face. I didn't even order my own food. Takura ordered my food for me. But midway, through the meal, being around her spirit, and Takura was there still helping me and helping me cope. And the food was good too. That helped. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of some drink. That helped too. But during all of that, my mood started to change. Love you too, cool baby. My mood started to change, and for the better. And I attributed that to the whole atmosphere and the environment, and where we were at. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for people who are just themselves, and have beautiful spirits. Because Kai really did help the situation with how attentive she was to the both of us. How she was talking to us, and even how she was interacting with her other coworkers. You could just tell she's like one of the favorites in the restaurant. She's a really sweet individual. So shout out to her for helping making this day a lot better. And even before we left, after we paid the bill, I did tell her, I said, hey, I want to say thank you, because when I came in here, I was really down and I was grieving and this, that, and the other. And I wasn't expecting it, but she was like, oh, and then she came around and gave me a big old hug. I didn't cry again, but she came around and gave me a big old hug, and it was beautiful. And then after that, she made us two more special drinks for on the road. But yeah, that was an amazing experience. So that was my day for Mother's Day. And like I said, yep, there you go. Um, like I said, when I go through emotionally or whatever I'm going through, I go into a cocoon and I withdraw. So, with that being said, I don't necessarily reach out. And I know today is Mother's Day, and sometimes I have my moments where I'm texting everybody or calling everybody, Happy Mother's Day, I love you, this, that, and the other. Today wasn't one of those days, because I was in my feels. And another thing about me is when I'm going through stuff, another reason why I withdraw sometimes is because I don't want my energy to rub off on anybody else. If you're having a great day, or if you're enjoying your Mother's Day, or if you're doing this and you're doing that, like for example, specifically, I thought about, because the main person I was going to call was my auntie, who was also my godmother. But I didn't want to be on the phone with her and then start crying and then start doing all of this when it's Mother's Day and she's supposed to be feeling celebrated. So that's just how I am. I just go inside myself. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but that's something that's been working for me for quite some time. A lot of times people don't know that I've even gone through stuff until after I've gone through it, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, well, about a couple of weeks ago I was such song, so like, oh my god. But that's another message in itself too. Check on your strong friends, for real. We go through stuff too. We're just gonna tell y'all everything we go through, because one thing about being a strong friend is that you sometimes know what people can and can't handle. And you know what friend you can talk to about certain things, or what friends you can't talk to about certain things. What friends might be able to handle and what others can't handle, because you know all of what they got going on, because they calling you and telling you everything. And you like, well, who am I to call them and dump all this stuff on them and I'm going through, when they got such and so going on. I think that's my thought process sometimes about that. What you think about that?
Well, the only thing I would say about the strong friends is I can only speak for myself. Sometimes you don't reach out or you don't say anything because you feel that what you are going through compared to what your friends is going through is so small, and you be like, how dare I call somebody and discuss this or talk about this or whatever the case may be when it's this, but they're going through all of this stuff, right? And I had one friend who was like, I don't care. I don't care what it is. You call me, you talk to me about it, because I'm really bad when it comes to communicating with others, especially when I have things going on. I am one that shuts down. I won't answer my phone, a text message, social media, nobody. The only people I want to talk to is my daddy and her. So for me, I shut the world down. Yeah. It's not just one or two people. I don't talk with anybody. Realistically, anybody, because I feel like can't nobody give me what my dad's going to give me. And that's something that I'm working through within myself, being able to trust somebody else with my feelings, but also knowing and receiving good, positive feedback. I'm not in a place right now where I want to hear a lot of negativity. I'm not in a place right now where I want to go through all of that. I do believe like what you are around plays a part of your life. And I'm not at that stage in my life where negativity or always being negative is something that I can deal with mentally. So I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people or positive people that's going to reinforce positivity back into me. So if I'm calling you and I'm saying, girl, my car just got towed, I don't want the negative feedback towards that. Like, I want you to be like, hey, hold me accountable. One, how did your car get towed? What did you do? Da-da-da. Yes, hold me accountable. But the negative things I don't need. And so for me, I find it easier to just deal with my dad, deal with her, and keep it moving. So, like I said, to sum all that up, I'm making a conscious effort to actually leaning on my friends more and the people that I call friends, and actually checking in, and actually allowing them to check on me, because I have one friend. She knows when something is wrong, and as soon as she get on the phone, she's like, "What is going on? What happened? What's wrong?" And I just be like, and she knows who she is, but and today's probably going to be a thing for her, and I know that, and I really want her to know, like, I didn't ignore you. I definitely text. I just had a lot going on today with her, so that's the only other thing, because I know today was hard for her. I know today was probably hard for her.
This the first one.
This isn't the first one. It's the second one. So, and then that's the other thing, like losing a parent. A lot of people say that they understand it. Oh, it's going to be okay. You don't know what it's like to lose a parent until you've lost a parent. Yeah. That's the same thing with a child. You don't know. So when you go to someone like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And it's not going to be okay. I just have to find a way to deal with it. So when people, especially like when my mom died, one thing that I remember so vividly is we were standing outside the house, and I can't think of who the lady was, but she walked up to my sister and she just kept on telling her, stop crying. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And I looked at her and I said, have your mom died? And one thing about me, I was very outspoken, and that was real to me. You cannot look at someone and say, you're going to be okay if you've never experienced it. So until you experience something, yes, you know you're going to keep moving on, but you don't know how somebody's going to react. You don't know what that's going to do to somebody's mental state. You don't know what effects that's going to have on somebody. So to look at them and just constantly keep saying it's going to be okay, that doesn't help me.
And that was a huge like pet peeve for me when my mom passed. And people be walking up to me and hugging me and talking to me. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. But I'm standing and your mama's standing right behind you. And it's like, bro, get out my face. Like, you don't understand. You truly don't. Like, it's a club that you don't want to be a part of.
It's one you don't want to take.
You do not want to take it to this show. Like, you really don't. And you know, people can say, you know, I'll be here for you and this, that, and the other. But and this one thing I told Zakura today, Miss Olivia Pope, I was saying, you know, let's just be real. Like, this is something that you truly can't fix. You can only be here for me, because the only thing that will fix or stop my grieving would be if my grandparents walked into the room and gave me a hug, or if my mom called me and said, "Hey, baby, I love you," or you get what I'm saying, to be in their presence. And that's not going to happen. Nobody can do that. Nobody can fix that for me right now. And no, I don't want no supernatural nothing. I know I'm good. I don't need that. So I don't want no psychics and nobody trying to reach out to me. I'm straight. I'm not trying to talk to the other side. That part. Let them lie and rest where they at. But that's what I was telling her today. I was like, that's really what I want, and no one can give that to me. You know. So yeah. Love you too, Cooper. He harping on that button. We love you so much, Cooper, dude.
And he don't even do it like that.
He don't. I low key think you want a treat, but the treat button is over there. If you press the right button,
he don't want the treat.
If you press the right button,
to get lovies. Look,
no, he coming over here to see if we heard him press the button, so we can give him a treat. Oh, you really do love us?
No, he loves you.
I know.
And he feel your energy because he's not even really focused on me. Do you see that?
Yeah, he keep coming over here to me.
See, I know you fuck and that's the other thing too, like dogs and animals, they feel your energy and stuff. And all day, he's my dog. Let's be very clear.
This is his human.
I'm his person. But today, it's been about her for him. And yes, he keep hitting the button. And even when he just said, I really want them to just come back and say I love you or give me a hug, whatever, he went and pressed the button. So my thing is, they feel your energy, they feel what you're going through, and sometimes, and that's just my opinion, I don't need no comments, my opinion. And they there for you. They are truly, like, dogs are really your best friends. But I'm gonna sum my little stuff up because this video is getting long. For me, Mother's Day is a great day for the land of the living. But a lot of people forget about the kids who don't have mothers with this day. Even when you walk in the store, or even the parents or whatever, when you walk into the stores, everybody, you a mother, you a mother, you a mother, you know, all of that. Sometimes that could be triggering for people. And it's not that they doing things that's wrong or they intentionally trying to hurt you or things like that, but you never know what somebody else is going through. She was really going through it today. It was a bad day. It was a bad day for us. It was a bad day, and I had other personal family stuff going on, and it was, and again, Olivia Pope in the world. It takes a toll on partners and different things like that. So just realistically, check on your friends who have lost their parents because they need it. They need it. They need to hear that it's going to be okay. Not that you understand,
Please don't,
because you don't. But just like, hey, you're going to make it through today. And that's it. That's it. That would have did enough for me. Like, hey, you're going to make it through today.
So rude, bro. And then another thing too, I also want to dedicate this podcast to mothers who have lost children, because that's a big situation too, and that's not something I'm ever gonna say I understand where you're coming from, because I've never lost a child, but I know that's a different type of grief as well. Also to, you know, the mothers who have maybe had to make a decision to abort for whatever reason it may have been. You know, some people have regrets about that, and some people live with that, you know, throughout their lives, and they grieve on Mother's Day for any particular reason. It's just so many different aspects to being a mother and mother figure, whether you lost a mom or whether you're a mom that's lost a child. It's a lot. And like she said, you know, going into places and everybody's like, "Oh, you a mother?" or "Happy Mother's Day to you," or this, that, and the other. That stuff can be very triggering to people. And sometimes we have to just be mindful, you know, Be mindful of the environment. Be mindful of who you're talking to. You never know what somebody's gone through, and also don't judge. You don't know why that individual had to do what they had to do. As far as abortion and stuff is concerned, you don't know what they were going through, and don't judge nobody for what they've done. Just be there for them. If they're grieving, just be there for them. You know, but it's just so many different aspects to that, and that's just what I want to speak about. So, again, shout out to all of you mothers who are in the land of the living, to all of you who have your beautiful kids with you, and to all the beautiful kids who have their mothers with them. Love you too, Cooper. And it's funny because we just introduced that button to him like 2 weeks ago. He's got a couple of other buttons, but we just introduced that button to him, and he harping on it. Love you too, baby.
Today he is.
This is the most I ever heard him press that button.
It's crazy.
That's something serious. We probably gonna hear that for the rest of the night, but I don't mind it. Love you too, cool.
Love you, Bubba's.
But again, thank you for listening. Thank you for those of you all who do support. We appreciate you. Those of y'all who check on us from time to time, we appreciate you. And don't feel bad if you don't understand. It's okay. Trust me, this is not something that you want to understand.
Nope.
But if you don't know what to do, because sometimes some people don't know how to deal with other people's emotions, and when they're crying or when they're grieving, don't just make stuff up. Just say, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. And that person can reach out to you when they need you in whatever way form it is. If they just need you to be, just be. If they need you to sit next to them and just be quiet, y'all just sit in the park or something, or you just go to their house and y'all just sit and watch TV. Sometimes it's all somebody needs,
Or if they need you to do a podcast.
That part. This low key a little bit of therapy for me. But I'm grateful though, because I was in therapy for quite some time, and I'm gonna go back to doing therapy again, because I have God, my wife, and therapy. And that is, and of course I have a slew of friends and loved ones and family members, but those are the top three right there that really helped me make it through. And I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for my wife today, it probably would have been a heck of a lot worse. So I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much for being there for me. But shout out to everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Comment. Let us know how you feel about Mother's Day too. Whatever it is you want to put in the comments, I love to read them. I love to read your stories. I love to hear about it. And thank you again. Love you too, Cooper. And Cooper says he love you. That part. So, as always, I say, your crown may be tilted, but never let it fall. Peace and love.